good part of ADD is that my mind keeps working. My mind keeps questioning. So I can talk about complicated things simply. I think that's my gift. But my cross is shutting my brain down at night. My hardest cross in life is sleeping. I wake up sometimes 10 times a night. I'm always tired. And I think what happens is because I'm always tired, I'm looking for food, especially sweets, to give me the energy to keep going. So you find oftentimes that people with sleeping problems also have weight problems. Now that's one side of me. Now there's another side of me. I was the oldest son in my family with a dad who was an alcoholic and an angry mom. And so I became the responsible person in my family. I was the one that took care of everybody. I became a professional rescuer. I became a priest. Often women become nurses or teachers. So I learned very early in life that the way you relate to people is you take care of them. Not only do you take care of them, you take on their feelings. Because I took on my parents' feelings when I was young. Well, there's this tremendous need inside of me to take care of people. I can be in a room with 20 people, and within a half hour, I'm talking to the person with the most pain. Not only am I talking to them with the most pain, but I'm taking on their pain. Well, as I take care of the world, there's that little voice inside of me that says, when is somebody going to take care of me? And so oftentimes with that anger of being a rescuer, I can eat. So there's two reasons. A lot of things are not black and white. They're a mixture, it's gray. But I've noticed in my journey, I can lose and gain 50 pounds. And when I lose it, I feel wonderful. That's wonderful, but that's not the real challenge. The real challenge is not gaining it back. I had an experience, this is about 4 years ago, and I had lost 60 pounds. And I hadn't put a pound on in 6 months. I thought I'd finally given my fat to God. I was really proud of myself. Well, I went to this parish where the deacon there was to the right of Genghis Khan. He was rigid. His hell was just filled with people. Now, I don't like to argue about religion. You never win an argument. Discussion I love, but not an argument. But this guy got me so upset that I argued with him. The kind of argument, the kind of anger that you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking of all the things you wished you would have told him. Well, I did that for about 2 weeks thinking about him. I was kind of obsessed on him. So during those 2 weeks, while I was obsessed on him, I hit every bakery, every ice cream parlor. I ate enough sweets in those 2 weeks that a normal person could eat in a year. And I started on a binge. And the problem is, once you start on the binge, then I gained about 5 pounds more than the last time I reached my high point. So it's progress, not perfection. I'm getting a better handle on it. So maybe instead of gaining 50 pounds, I'll gain 20 pounds. But what's really interesting, because I forgave this deacon. I let go of the anger. I let go of the obsession. And he called me about a year ago. He was dying of cancer. And he wanted to hear me talk more about the love of God. So I was so happy I let go of the anger that I could be a channel of God's love for his needs. So today, I need to monitor my anger and my food. And the more I do that, the better chance I have of having a balanced weight in my life. As you see, I'm not doing too well. It's progress, not perfection. So as I mentioned in our last talk, I'd like you to reflect on how do you express anger in a negative way? Now, why you're doing that is just because you take ownership over it. Your confession means to name. You're naming it so you can be open to God's healing grace. Now, what I like to talk about as we start this process of healing, I like to talk about obsessions. You know, when we take somebody personally, we become as crazy as they are. Now, how do you know you have an obsession? Because all you can do is think about them or their behavior. And in the process, you lose yourself. That's why it's so painful.